My beloved child, do not pass over these words as if they were just another ordinary video, for this is not a mere moment in time. This is the very instant that holds decisive meaning for you and for your family. If you only stop halfway, you will unintentionally miss a gift that I have carefully prepared to place in your hands. What I wish to give you is not something small or fleeting, but blessings that will change the course of your life, opening for you a new path where light and peace will guide each step you take. My beloved, you have prayed many times, whispered through your tears, and sighed through long dark nights, longing for a clear sign from me. And today, at this very moment, I am answering. This is not just an accidental message, but a direct response from heaven to your sincere heart. All this time you may have thought I was silent, but in truth I have been listening to every word you have cried out, seeing every pain you have borne. Now you no longer have to wait for. This is the very sign you have been longing for. It will not only affect today, but it will touch your future, shaping the things that lie ahead. My child, I know there have been times when you wanted to give up, to stop, because it seemed that all your efforts were in vain. But it is in your most weary moments that I come closest to you. I have never left you, and I will never let your cries fall into the void. You see, sometimes I answer slowly, not because I do not care, but because I am preparing a path, a solution that your eyes have never yet imagined. And when you stand at this important crossroads, I want you to know that the sign you are reading is the key to opening a new door in the journey of your life. Do not take this lightly. There are opportunities that come only once in a lifetime. If you pass them by, you will lose a season of blessings that I have set aside for you. But if you hold firm in faith and fully receive what I am giving you, will see each of my promises become a reality, not by your own strength, but by the power of the living God. I have declared, blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. Jeremiah 1:7, 7-8. Do you see, I desire for you to take root in faith, so that when the storms come, you will not waver but stand firm in my blessings. My dear child, take a moment to reflect on the path you have traveled. Have you not once wished for an opportunity to begin anew, to move past your mistakes, to have a fresh blank page for your life? Today I am offering you the chance to open that new chapter. But there is one condition: you must accept it. You must listen until the very end, without turning back halfway. For if you let go, you will not be able to see the full picture I am painting for your life. Child, this is the moment when you must decide: will you choose to believe or doubt? Will you hold on or let go? Will you step forward or remain still? I know your heart is filled with many concerns, but you do not fight this battle alone. Your family is also part of my plan, and the choices you make today will affect the generations that follow. The promise I have made is not just for you, but for your descendants. Remember Abraham, who believed in me, and so the promise was not only fulfilled for him, but also passed down through his lineage like a river that never runs dry. The same is true for you. Your faith today may open up a sacred inheritance for your entire family. Do not be discouraged when you do not see immediate results. I am working behind the curtains that your eyes cannot see. Every delay has a purpose. Hold your heart firm, for the blessings that come from me will never be late, nor will they come too soon. They will always come at the perfect moment. And when they arrive, you will realize that every moment of waiting, every tear, every long night of prayer was never in vain. My beloved child, I know that sometimes you feel a sense of emptiness, as though you are being left behind while others around you are rushing ahead with achievements, plans, and newfound joys. You may wonder if your waiting is worth it, if your tears and sighs will ever be answered. But child, I assure you, not a single moment on your journey is wasted. It is in these quiet, seemingly meaningless moments that I am working in secret, preparing for you blessings that your eyes have never seen and your heart could not have imagined. You may not see it now, but with each passing day of patience, with every night of prayer, you are weaving a sacred tapestry that will lay the foundation for your future. Remember, waiting is not a sign of delay or neglect, but rather a testimony of how much I love you. I do not want you to receive anything too early before your heart and soul are ready to embrace it. My dear, I have arranged meetings you are unaware of with people you have not yet met but who will become blessings in your life. Some doors you thought were tightly closed will unexpectedly open at the moment I have ordained. You will realize that not every opportunity is good for you. Not every relationship brings life, and not every dream aligns with the path I have planned for you. Therefore, I have closed some doors, allowed some people to leave your life, and let certain opportunities slip away, not to harm you, but to protect you from things that do not belong to you, so you can step into a greater fullness of goodness. You may cry at that moment because of the loss, you may blame me for the silence, but one day you will look back and understand that everything happened as it did so you could stand in the position you are in today. Everything I do has a perfect timing. I am the one who makes the sun rise and set at the right time, who brings spring after winter, who causes the flower to bloom when it's ready, and I am also the one orchestrating the perfect timing for every detail in your life. Nothing happens by chance. You have not lost, you have not been abandoned. You are simply being shaped and guided to enter a new season. Let your heart rest in this truth. Waiting is the sacred classroom where you learn patience, where you learn to trust, and where you learn to let me control the rhythm of your life rather than rushing ahead on your own. While you think you are standing still, your roots of faith are actually growing deep so that when storms come, you will not fall. While you think others are moving ahead, I am actually laying a solid foundation so you can stand longer, higher, and more steadfast. Be strong, for what I am preparing for you exceeds every expectation you have had. And when you look back, you will say, every moment of waiting, every loss, every silence has been worth it, for all of it was woven into the perfect plan of your Heavenly Father. My beloved child, I understand every heavy burden in your heart, the restless nights of tossing and turning, and the days you live in constant worry like a shadow you cannot shake off. I have seen the beads of anxious sweat dampen your soul, the unanswered questions that leave you bewildered, the soft sighs that echo in the empty room. My dear, I know deeply that in the depths of your heart you long for a definite answer, a ray of light to guide your way, a clear path to move forward. And I tell you, you do not face all of this alone. I have never left you in solitude. I have never abandoned you in the darkness. Even when your eyes cannot see me, my hand is still holding yours, leading you step by step through the crossroads that you do not yet understand. Remember, my presence is not dependent on your fleeting feelings. There are times when you think I am silent, but in reality I am speaking in ways you have yet to perceive. When one door closes, it is I who shield you from that which does not belong to you. When you are cornered, it is I who shift the direction so you may find a safer path. When you lose someone or something you once held tightly, it is not loss, but I am clearing the way for a greater, more enduring gift. I am your Father. I see farther than your eyes can behold. I know what will bring life to you and what will destroy you. Child, it is in the moments you feel weakest that I am closest to you. You may not realize it, but I have embraced you in your tears, lifted you when you fell, and whispered in your ear, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Isaiah 4:110. This is not just a promise. It is a reality that surrounds you right now. I am the shade when you walk in the scorching sun, the lamp when you walk in the dark, the water when your soul is thirsty. I want you to understand that your anxiety does not drive me away, but rather it is the opportunity for me to reveal a deeper love for you. The fears you carry in your heart do not make me turn away. They draw me closer to wipe away your tears, to place peace beyond understanding in your soul. You do not need to have all the answers right now, for I am the answer. You do not need to see the entire road ahead, for I am the one who goes before you, preparing the way, moving mountains, filling the valleys, and opening paths for you. All you need to do is trust, for every step you take in surrender brings you closer to what I have prepared for you. My beloved child, allow me to transform fear into faith, confusion into hope, and sorrow into joy. Let me exchange your worries for peace and your uncertain questions for assurance in my eternal promises. You no longer need to fight alone, for I, your Creator, am your refuge. I am always near, guiding, teaching, and protecting you. Lift your eyes, for your salvation does not come from this world, but from me, the one who created the heavens and the earth, the one who has never failed to keep his promises to his children. My beloved, I know the burden you've carried in your heart for so long, the things you cannot control, the burdens you were never meant to bear but have tightly clung to. I see the nights when you've worn yourself out trying to hold everything in your grasp, fearing that if you let go, everything will fall apart. But my child, I never created you to live in that exhaustion. I never called you to carry the weight of the world alone. That is why today I say to you, let go. Lay down the burdens that do not belong to you so that you may walk freely in my peace. For when you hold on, you unknowingly allow fear, anxiety, and the need for control to take the place where I long to fill you with my love and guidance. Child, I know that deep within there are dreams you have yet to speak, desires you have kept silent because you fear they are too great for you, or you fear that I will not care. But rest assured, I see it all. Not one desire within you is forgotten, and not one dream of yours is in vain. You were not created by chance, but with my wisdom to carry within you the seeds of a divine purpose. And I am faithful to nurture, care for, and bring that seed to fruition in its time. Perhaps you think you must hold tightly to everything in order to protect it, to preserve it, to avoid losing what is precious. But in truth, it is only when you let go and entrust all things to me that you truly hold on to what I have destined for you. For what comes from me cannot be taken away, and my plans for your life will never fail. Remember the promise in Philippians 1:6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Yes, the work I have begun in you will not be left unfinished, for I am not the one who abandons the task midway. My child, I do not call you to let go only to fall into an undefined void, but to open your arms and embrace the new things I am preparing for you. When you lay down your burdens, I will place peace into your hands. When you release your worries, I will fill you with hope. When you stop trying to control everything, I will lead you in steadier steps. Let me truly be the Lord of your life, for only then will you be able to walk the path I have set for you. And you will realize that what I have prepared for you far exceeds what you had imagined, and the blessings I bestow upon you surpass your deepest desires. My child, trust me completely. Surrender not only with your lips, but with your whole heart, daring to entrust everything to me. You will see that when you stop resisting, when you stop holding on, my hand will lift you higher than anything you could have reached on your own. You will experience that true freedom does not come from controlling everything, but from trusting the one who reigns over all things. And once you step into that place of surrender, you will feel new life, complete peace, and enduring joy, knowing that I am completing the work I began in you until it is fulfilled in glory. My beloved, I am calling you to walk in faith, for faith is the key that opens doors your mind cannot yet comprehend. You will never be able to see the entire picture from the beginning, but that does not mean you are on the wrong path. On the contrary, it is precisely when you can only see a small way ahead, when the fog still surrounds you, that I am opening a certain path for you. Remember that Abraham left without knowing where he was going, but because he trusted in me, he became the father of many nations. Likewise, you do not need to see the entire journey. You only need to know that I am holding your hand and leading you, and that is enough. My child, do not allow fear to bind your soul any longer. Fear is not the gift I give you. It is a chain that keeps you stagnant, that makes you doubt your own worth, that causes you to retreat into darkness instead of stepping into the light. I did not create you to live in trembling, but to be strong in my power. I have declared, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Therefore, when fear seeks to paralyze you, remind yourself that I have placed within you the spirit of courage, of love, and of sound judgment. You are no longer a victim of anxiety, but a child of the King of Kings, an heir of the divine authority from me. My beloved, walk boldly, not in your own strength, but in the authority I have bestowed upon you. When you open your mouth to pray, the heavens listen. When you stand in faith, the darkness must retreat. When you declare, "My word, all of heaven works with you." Do not think of yourself as small or powerless, for I have placed within you a strength greater than any obstacle out there. Just as David faced Goliath, he did not come with sword and spear, but in the name of the Lord. Likewise, you should move forward, not based on your own ability, but on my power, and you will see the walls fall, the seas part, and the impossible become possible. My dear child, I remind you once more, you never have to walk alone. On every step of the journey, I am always with you. When you enter new territory, I go before you to prepare the way. When you are weak, I am the strength that lifts you up. When you fall, I will not abandon you, but will extend my hand to lift you up. I have promised I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 1:3-5. This is a firm promise that will never change. Therefore you can move forward with confidence, for no power can hinder your steps when I am with you. My beloved child, I will renew you each day, not only by wiping away your tears or healing your wounds, but by breathing new life into your soul, a hope that is stronger than anything you've ever known. The purpose I have set for your life is greater than you can imagine, far beyond the limits of your understanding. Your life holds immeasurable value, for it is woven into my eternal plan. You were not born simply to exist, but to leave a sacred mark on this world, an impact that will ripple through many generations even when you are no longer here. The people you touch, the words you speak, the actions you take under my guidance, all of these are part of the blueprint I have designed from the very beginning. Do not ever underestimate the calling I have placed on your life, my child. Do not think that because you are not like someone else, or because you may not have what another person has, that you are of lesser worth. Every soul I create bears a unique mark, and you were made to walk a path that no one else can walk in your place. Do not let comparisons dim your light, for that light is not meant to reflect others, but to illuminate your own way and the paths of those I have placed around you. I have prepared a path just for you, with challenges to refine you, opportunities to lift you up, and blessings tailored for your soul. You may have doubted your value before, looked around and wondered why others seem to move faster or achieve more. But I say to you, your journey is not defined by the steps of others. You are an instrument in my hand, and I will use you at the right place at the right time in the way I have already planned. The preparation I have for you is not for you to race against anyone, but for you to fulfill the divine purpose I placed in you even before you were born. You are chosen not because you are perfect, but because I want to show my power through your weaknesses. Know this for sure: what I have prepared for you, no one and no force can take away. The blessings engraved on your life, the promises I have given you, they are all safe in my hands. No opposition, no trap, no failure can hinder the fulfillment of my plan. You may face whirlpools of doubt. You may go through days that seem like you've lost everything, but remember, what I hold, no one can steal. When I open a door, no one can shut it. And when I speak a promise, nothing can stop it from being fulfilled. Therefore, my child, lift your head high and walk with faith. Do not let comparison cloud the sacred purpose I have given you. Do not think of yourself as small or inadequate, for it is in your weakness that I will reveal my full power. Let me renew your spirit, granting you the strength to run without weariness and walk without fainting, as I have spoken. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 4:0-1. My beloved child, I know that at times you feel weary from the struggles you have faced. The storms that arise in life may make you feel that every door has been closed, causing you to fall and question, why is this happening to me? But my child, I tell you that these trials are never sent to destroy you, but to shape you, to refine you, making you stronger, more mature, and ready to receive the greater things I am preparing for you. Just as a piece of iron must pass through red-hot fire to become a sharp sword, so too must you go through the furnace of trials to become a precious instrument in my hands. Every difficulty you face, whether rejection, loss, or delay, is being used by me as part of my training plan. I waste nothing in your journey. Even the tears you think are meaningless are watering the seeds of blessings that are about to bloom. The days when you feel abandoned are in fact the days when I am working the most behind the scenes. The enemy may have planned to use adversity to crush you, but I, the Almighty, have turned it into an opportunity to lift you up, showing you that my power is greater than any scheme. Just as Joseph said to his brothers who sold him into slavery, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 5:20. My child, do not be afraid to wait. Do not be discouraged when your plans have not yet come to fruition. The delays you see as obstacles are in fact protection. I see the crossroads you cannot see. I know the paths that would lead you astray, and out of love for you I have blocked them. A delay is not a denial. It is a time for you to grow, to learn to trust, and to be better prepared for what I am about to give you. When you think that a closed door is the end, I will open another door that leads to a higher, wider, and safer place. My child, what you perceive as failure is but a stepping stone to a greater victory. You may not yet see the full picture of what I am doing, but I see it all, from beginning to end. I am using every event, every loss, every stumble, to position you exactly where you need to be in my plan. Imagine a potter patiently shaping every curve and line on a vessel. Each turn, each press has a purpose, even though the vessel cannot yet understand it. Likewise, I am shaping you with my wise hands, crafting you into a masterpiece that reflects my glory. Beloved, trust that all things are working together for your good. This is not just a comforting phrase, but a promise etched into the very foundation of eternity. Romans 8:28 declares, "We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." This means that not just a few things, but everything, both the good and the bad, both joy and sorrow, both success and failure, is weaving together a great tapestry that brings you closer to the purpose I have for you. And when that tapestry is completed, you will see clearly that every trial, every tear, every wound was not in vain. Beloved, the moment I promised is drawing near, and you are about to step into a new season, a season of divine acceleration. What has been stagnant, what seemed locked in place, what made you feel like nothing would ever move, will now begin to shift powerfully to the rhythm I have set. For years you have sown in tears, patiently waited, prayed in secret, and now the harvest is coming, far beyond what you have expected. You once thought your prayers fell into silence, but every whispered prayer has been inscribed in heaven. Now those prayers will be brought to life, no longer just a hope, but a living testimony. The doors you thought were permanently closed, the opportunities you believed you had missed, I will cause them to open in miraculous ways. Picture a dark room suddenly illuminated when light pours in. This is what will happen in your life. The doors once locked by circumstances, by others, or even by the fears within you will now be opened by my hand, allowing you to enter a new space of freedom, opportunity, and blessings. Miracles will no longer be a distant tale told by others, but a reality you will witness with your own eyes, touch with your own hands, and your life will become a powerful testimony of my faithfulness. My dear child, this is not the time for you to falter or doubt. This is the moment when you must hold fast to your faith, just as a soldier grips his sword on the battlefield. Your faith is the key, the power that paves the way for miracles to unfold. Do not let the weariness of the days past steal away your hope. Do not allow past failures to stop you from believing in new beginnings. I call you to unite with me, to walk in close fellowship, for when your heart is intertwined with mine, no force can prevent the fulfillment of the plan I have for you. Prepare yourself, beloved. When I pour out my blessings, they will come not in trickles, but in torrents, overwhelming like a flood from the heavens above. What I am about to give you will surpass anything you have ever imagined, for what the eye has not seen, what the ear has not heard, and what the heart of man has not conceived. Those are the things I have prepared for those who love me. 1 Corinthians 2:9. Do not limit me by the narrow confines of your thoughts, for the blessings I have for you are beyond your imagination. Open your heart, expand your vision, and make room within your spirit, for what I have prepared will fill and exceed all. Beloved, a new season is beginning. The things that once held you back, that once hindered you, that once slowed your progress, will no longer have any power. You will be propelled forward with the speed of the Holy Spirit, and you will witness restoration, breakthrough, and renewal in every area of your life. From family to work, from relationships to spirituality, everything will be elevated to a new height. Therefore, stay alert, look forward, and walk with a heart full of faith, for it is I, the beginning and the end, who am leading you into a glorious season, unlike anything you have experienced. Beloved, trust in me, for it is this trust that will be the key to unlocking a future of glory, a future that I have planned from the beginning of time. Do not let momentary doubts or delays cause you to falter. Every promise I have given you is not just words of comfort, but living words certain to be fulfilled. I have engraved them on the palm of my hand, and once I have spoken, nothing can make those words void. Therefore, hold fast to them so that each step you take will be firm in the assurance that I, the faithful one, will bring to pass all that I have promised. My dear child, this moment is the sign that you have been praying for all this time. It is not a mere coincidence, but a response to the silent cries you have whispered. I have seen the tears fall upon your pillow. I have heard your quiet sighs as you wondered, Lord, do you hear me? Why are you silent? You have questioned, doubted, and waited with patience until you were exhausted. But my dear child, listen carefully. I have never forgotten you. My ears have never been deaf to your pleas, nor have my eyes been blind to your desperate needs. Every cry of yours has reached my throne. Every tear you shed has been stored by me like precious jewels, and there is nothing in your heart that I do not know. The delay you perceive is not a refusal. It is the time I am using to prepare you to make way for something better, so that you can receive the blessings that you were not yet mature enough to carry before. Think of a father who does not let his young child hold a sword too early, not because he does not want to give, but because he loves and knows the time is not yet right. Similarly, I love you too much to give you something before the right moment. I have set the appointed time, and now the season has come. My dear child, I am opening the door before you. I call you to step in with faith, for faith does not need to see the full picture to obey. Trust that what I have begun I will complete. Trust that I am still working, even when you think I am silent. Trust that I will never abandon you, for I have said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Hebrews 1:3-5. That is my eternal promise, a guarantee that you may move forward without fear. Beloved child, I have seen your persistence in prayer. I have heard your cries before dawn's first light. I have witnessed the times you stumbled but still tried to look up. None of this has been in vain, for I have gathered it all to become a sweet fragrance before my throne, and now I say your time has come. This is the moment you will see the promises fulfilled, the moment what you have long awaited begins to unfold. My beloved child, I want you to understand something deeply when I say I am listening. Not a single sigh of yours goes unnoticed, and no prayer of yours drifts away in vain. But remember, I am not bound by the fleeting passage of time that you live in. You count each second, each minute, while I measure by the eternal realm. You see urgency in the moment, but I see the fullness of the entire path leading to glory. Do not think that I am silent when you call out. Do not believe that I neglect you when you wait. My silence is a cloak woven with wisdom, where I am arranging each detail, every piece, so that when the time is right, everything will come together to create something magnificent for you. You often grow impatient because your heart yearns for an immediate result. You want things to happen right now in this very moment. But I, the Lord, do not act according to the restless beat of your heart. I move according to the rhythm of heaven. Like a patient potter, I knead, shape, adjust, and fire the clay in the furnace of testing to form a perfect vessel. If I were to give you what you ask for when everything is not yet ready, that blessing would become a burden, and that joy could turn into brokenness. You see the delay, but I see a training journey. You hear the stillness, but I am molding you to be strong, steadfast, and mature in faith. My child, learn to trust me in those seemingly endless days when the answer has not yet come, because it is precisely in those quiet moments that I am writing invisible words on your heart. I am changing the way you see things, engraving patience deep within you, and expanding the capacity of your heart to hold more. When you think I am not acting in reality, I am working far more than you know. When you think I am distant, I am actually so near that you may not even realize. I am like a seed sown into the ground in the darkness. It lies still, seemingly invisible, but in truth, life is surging within, preparing for the day it will sprout blossom and bear fruit. My dear child, remember the words I spoke in Isaiah 5:8-9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. Do not be afraid of the difference between what you see and what I am doing. Do not let delays cause you to doubt my love for you. When you ask for bread, I will never give you a stone. When you call for light, I will not leave you in the darkness. I am preparing something far beyond your imagination, beyond even the things you have prayed for. There are times when I must allow you to go through waiting so that your heart may be refined, so you can learn to depend on me rather than on outcomes. There will be days when you think I am late, but in truth, I am always on time. Not your time, but mine, the time heaven has ordained. When you understand this, you will see that waiting is not a loss, but an opportunity. An opportunity for you to learn to look up rather than just bow your head in search of solutions within yourself. An opportunity for you to open your heart rather than close it in worry. An opportunity for you to realize that I am the answer, not just the one who gives the answer. My child, have you ever wondered why I allow periods of silence to linger? It is because I want you to hear my voice more deeply, not through the noise, but through the stillness. I want you to learn to recognize my presence in every breath you take, in every step you make, in every little thing. I want you to know that even though you may not hear a loud noise, I am still speaking. Even though you may not see a miracle right before your eyes, I am still at work. And when the right time comes, when the curtain is pulled back, you will understand that every silence, every delay is part of the perfect plan to reveal my glory and allow you to experience complete joy. My beloved, trust me, for my love for you has never changed. Let your heart rest in this truth. I know what is best for you. I know when you are ready, and I will never miss the perfect moment to give you what I have promised. All you need to do is hold on to faith, keep walking, and wait in hope, because what I am preparing for you will not only meet your current needs, but will build a firm future, a life overflowing with grace and blessings. You will see on that day that the waiting was worth it, and my silence was never neglect, but always love hidden to prepare for a great revelation. My beloved child, I want you to engrave this deeply in your heart. Patience is not meaningless delay, but the key that opens the door to blessings. You often see waiting as a burden, as a wearisome pause without end. But in my eyes, it is a time of preparation, a time to strengthen and refine you, shaping you into the instrument worthy of the great plan I have ordained for you. Be steadfast, for every promise I have made contains an eternal guarantee. My word does not fall to the ground in vain, nor is it carried away by the winds. Just as rain and snow fall from the sky and do not return without watering the earth and making it fertile, so my word once spoken will surely be fulfilled. Isaiah 5:5-1011. You often fear that you will be forgotten, that I will abandon you in the desolate wilderness. But remember, I am the faithful one. From the beginning to the end, I have never changed. I have spoken, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 1:3-5. Even if you walk through thick darkness, even if every road before you seems covered, I am still beside you, guiding and supporting you. You are never alone. My presence is your shield, my light is your path, and my strength helps you stand firm, even when the world turns its back on you. My child, the answers you long for will come at the appointed time. You need not be anxious about whether I hear you, for I have listened from the moment you began to pray. You need not doubt whether I will forget you, for every petition you make is kept like fragrant incense before my throne. Revelation 5:8. The promises I have sown in your heart are not illusions but holy seeds. They must be watered with faith and covered by patience to bloom and bear fruit in their season. You may not yet see the sprout, but that does not mean the seed has died. It is quietly germinating, and one day, to your amazement, it will rise green and full of life. The time I have appointed is drawing near, and the breakthrough your soul is waiting for is not far off. You may be in the long night, but remember the dawn is breaking just beyond the horizon. The tears you sow in the darkness will turn into shouts of joy in the morning. Psalm 3:05. What I am preparing for you is not just the answer to your immediate needs, but a complete transformation, a door opening to a new season, where you will see my hand at work in wondrous ways. You will understand that waiting is not a loss, but the beginning of a new chapter filled with grace. Until that day comes to pass, I call upon you to walk forward in faith, even if only with small steps. Place your trust in me, not in your circumstances. Keep your eyes fixed on me rather than the stormy waves around you. Just as Peter walked on water as long as his eyes were on Jesus, you too will overcome the storms of life if you hold firm in your faith. Do not let doubt drown you, but allow trust to lift your soul like an eagle soaring high in the sky. My child, I make all things complete. What I begin, I will finish. I am not the one who starts something and leaves it unfinished. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. My plan for you is not only for your current good, but also to build a solid future, to lift my name high, and to bring you to fullness in grace. Do not be afraid, do not be dismayed, and do not give up. Hold fast to my promises, for they are a sure anchor for your soul. My dear one, the new season is near, and I want you to prepare your heart like good soil ready for the seed. Uproot doubt, break up your hard heart, and water it abundantly with prayers. When you do this, you will see breakthroughs come not just as a soft breeze, but like a mighty downpour of blessings upon your life. And in that moment, you will know that I, your God, have never forgotten you, have never abandoned you, and have never broken my promise. Everything I do is complete, and the blessings you are about to receive will far exceed what you have ever asked for or imagined. My beloved child, I want you to fully grasp this truth. I am the God who does not just know about you from afar, but I am the one who wove every fiber of your life. Before you were even formed, I set my loving eyes upon you. From the secret place I called your name, and that call still echoes through eternity. You are not a product of chance, nor the result of randomness. You are the masterpiece of my hands, a work of art that I have cherished, shaped, and preserved with unchanging love. Every breath you take is a testimony that I am sustaining your life. Every beat of your heart is a reminder that I am still here, present in the very lifeblood of your being. My child, I bless your life not only for you, but also for those whom you love. I decree blessings upon your family, the relationships you hold, your work, and even the steps you are unsure about taking. When I speak a blessing, no power in heaven, on earth, or in the depths of the earth can hinder it. My words carry the authority to change the course of life. I proclaim peace over your mind, healing over your body, and renewal over your soul. I bring life to places that were once barren in your heart, like streams in the desert, and I heal what was broken, making it more beautiful than before. Do not think that you have been forgotten, for I am the one who remembers every detail of your life. Even the number of hairs on your head, I know them. Not a single tear falls that I do not keep. You may feel abandoned, but in truth I have never taken my eyes off you, nor have I ever let go of your hand. You may feel overlooked in the world, but in my eyes you are a treasure, a precious jewel hidden in the palm of my hand. I call you mine, which means no one can steal you from my grasp. I protect you like a mother shields her child, like a father guards his beloved son. My wings cover you, and my Holy Spirit surrounds you to support, teach, and guide you every step of the way. My child, know that the plans I have for you are good. Do not let the current trials make you doubt my kindness. I did not create you to abandon you in a dead end. On the contrary, I have written a program full of hope and blessings for you. You may see doors closing, but I am preparing to open greater doors for you. You may feel pushed to the side, but I am drawing you into the center of my purpose. You may feel worthless, but I call you a vessel for my glory. In Jeremiah 2:9-11, I declared, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Beloved, I long for you to receive the blessings I have prepared for you, not so that you may live an ordinary life, but that you may shine like a light on a hill so that through you others may see my kindness. You have been set apart not to blend in and fade away in the stream of life, but to become a sign, a living testimony of my power and love. I have called you by name, and when I call, I also give you the strength to walk in the path I have ordained. Remember, you do not walk alone, for my hand is upon you, guiding you through every valley and leading you to green pastures full of life. My beloved child, let this truth dwell deeply in your heart. You are loved, chosen, and elevated in my time. The value I place on you does not depend on success or failure, nor does it change based on how others perceive you. It flows from my very nature, unchanging love. You may tremble in weakness, but I see in you a courageous warrior. You may think of yourself as insignificant, but I call you my chosen one. You may feel alone, but I call you my child, my own. And when I pronounce my blessings over you, rest assured that all of heaven bears witness that every word I speak will come to pass, for I am the faithful God who never breaks his promises. My dear one, I am the Almighty God, the one who blesses your life with wisdom and discernment. I know you live in a world filled with noise, a world where truth and falsehood are often entwined, where darkness sometimes wears the brightest robes to deceive. But do not fear, for I have promised to give you a discerning spirit so you can recognize the truth amid 1,000 lies. You will no longer walk in darkness, for I have lit the lamp within your heart. That light does not come from your understanding nor from human wisdom, but from me, the source of all light. Through this light you will clearly see the path ahead, and you will discern what belongs to me and what is simply a cleverly disguised trap of the enemy. My voice will not be unclear to you, but will resonate like the ringing of a bell in your soul. Amidst all the clamor, you will learn to hear the soft whisper of my words, like the gentle breeze that passes by, like the cool stream flowing softly through a barren desert. You will know when I urge you forward, when I hold you back, when I open the way, and when I want you to stop. The discernment I give you is not only to keep you from error, but to enable you to walk with confidence, unshaken by the fleeting temptations of the world. You will not be swept away by empty, sweet words, nor will you be deceived by false lights. My truth will be your firm foundation, like a rock that no storm can move. You will see that in every decision I am the source of wisdom beyond your years. While you may still be searching for the way, I have already prepared the path. While you may hesitate and doubt, I hold the outcome in my hands. And when you face challenges, the understanding that comes from me will be your shield and sharp sword. You will not fall under pressure nor be swept away in the storm, for the wisdom from me will keep you standing firm. This is not the wisdom of books or human experience, but the wisdom from above, the same wisdom that created the heavens, that shaped the earth, that breathed life into all living things. It is this wisdom that I am placing in your heart. My child, know that my Holy Spirit is the most faithful and patient teacher in your life. He will not leave you wandering in confusion, nor will he remain silent while you stumble in the darkness. He will teach you step by step, show you the path of life, and lead you out of the dead ends of fear or despair. He will remind you when you are about to go astray, comfort you when you fall, and give you the strength to rise again stronger than before. My Holy Spirit does not only illuminate the way, but also transforms your heart, teaching you to love the truth, hate evil, and live according to my ways. My child, I will not leave you abandoned in a world full of snares. I give you wisdom to make the right choices, discernment to recognize the truth, and my voice to guide you. You only need to listen, trust, and walk in obedience. Do not fear that you will be left behind, for I am always by your side, watching over every step you take. You are not only someone I love, but also someone I train, teach, and lead to become a light in this world. Keep your heart bound to my word, and you will see clearly that my blessings are not only found in what you receive, but in the peace that comes from knowing you are walking on the path I have set for you. Beloved, have you ever thought that waiting is a punishment, an empty space, a needless delay that wears you out and leaves you confused? I know that in your heart you have experienced moments like this. When your prayers echo in the dark without an immediate response, you begin to doubt, Lord, do you hear me? Do you care about what I am going through? But my child, I want you to understand a deep truth, that waiting is never a waste. It is not abandonment, but a spiritual classroom where I am training you, preparing you for what you are not yet ready to receive. Waiting is the phase where I teach you patience, refine your faith, and shape your soul to become more like my image. You often desire everything to happen quickly. In this world, you are accustomed to instant gratification, messages answered immediately, meals prepared in minutes, information found in the blink of an eye. Therefore, when I tell you to wait, it seems like the most confusing and hardest thing to accept. But my child, I do not operate according to the hurried pace of the world. I operate according to the rhythm of eternity, where every moment is carefully calculated to bring completeness to you. If you received everything as soon as you wanted, your faith would never be developed and you would remain like a child, never maturing enough to bear the greater blessings I have prepared for you. Let's reflect on the figures in the Bible. Abraham, the father of faith, had to wait 25 years to see the promise of a child fulfilled. During this time, he was confused, doubtful, and at times weak, but that waiting transformed him from an imperfect man into a witness of my faithfulness. Then there is Joseph, who was betrayed by his own brothers and sold as a slave. He spent many years in prison enduring injustice, but it was through this waiting that I refined his character, faithfulness, and leadership abilities until one day he became the vizier who saved an entire nation from famine. Without those challenging years of waiting, Joseph would never have been strong enough to bear such a great responsibility. And then there is David, anointed king while still a young shepherd boy, but he had to spend many years fleeing from King Saul, enduring persecution until the promise was finally fulfilled. That time of waiting was not to torment him, but to refine a heart that knew how to rely on me. So when he ascended the throne, he ruled with humility and trust in me. My beloved, in the same way, the waiting in your life is accomplishing a divine work that you may not yet realize. When you ask for something and do not receive it immediately, it is not because I am indifferent, but because I want your soul to learn to look to the giver of blessings, not just focus on the blessings themselves. If I gave you everything instantly, you would unknowingly make me a tool to satisfy your desires. But when I make you wait, you learn to love me for who I am, not just for what you receive from me. You learn to cherish my presence more than simply expecting results. And you will realize that true joy does not come from external blessings, but from my companionship in every step you take. In waiting, I am also teaching you to entrust, to submit, and to rely completely on me. When you lose control, you begin to understand that I alone hold everything in my hands. When you have no solution, you will realize that my wisdom surpasses your understanding. When you are cornered, you will see that I can make a way where there seems to be none. It is through waiting that pride is dissolved, helping you to let go of the illusion that you can control your life and teaching you how to let me truly be the Lord. My dear child, do not view waiting as a burden. Instead, see it as an opportunity for transformation, to grow in faith, to be shaped in character, and to be prepared for a higher calling. Waiting is like winter, cold, bleak, and seemingly the death of the trees. But in reality, deep beneath the earth, the roots are growing stronger and the sap of life is accumulating, so that when spring comes, the tree will bloom with abundant leaves and flowers. Your life is no different. When you feel as though you are stagnant, I am causing the roots of your faith to grow deep into me, so that one day you will bear much fruit. Beloved, when I lead you on the path of waiting, the greater purpose, beyond what your eyes can see, is not merely to bring blessings to you, but to help you shift your focus away from the blessings themselves and toward the one who blesses. You may have once thought that the goal of faith was to receive what you desire, but I want you to learn a deeper truth. Faith is not only to grasp the answers, but to hold fast to me, the living one, the source of all good things. If you only seek blessings, you will quickly feel disappointed when blessings come slowly or not as you expected. But when you seek me, you will find that whether blessings come or not, my presence is enough to sustain you through every moment. I have seen times when you prayed earnestly for something believing that it was the only answer that could bring you happiness. You prayed fervently, you waited, you hoped, but when I did not answer immediately, your heart sank and you began to doubt. But my dear, remember, I am the kind and loving Father, and I know what is best for you. Sometimes I delay not to disappoint you, but to help you realize that it is my companionship that is the true source of lasting happiness, not any blessing that may come. If you receive everything you ask for without learning to cling to me, your heart will remain empty, and you will keep chasing after new things, never finding true satisfaction. Child, there is a vast difference between rejoicing in blessings and rejoicing in me. Joy based on blessings comes and goes because blessings can change and circumstances may shift. But joy rooted in me will never waver, for I do not change, I am unshifting. That is why I lead you into this season of waiting, to teach you to love me, to trust in me, and to find joy in my presence rather than merely in the things I give. My child, look back to the people of Israel in the wilderness. I gave them manna every day, yet they saw it as mere sustenance and began to complain, forgetting that the one who provides their food is the source of their life. They desired blessings but forgot the relationship with the one who blesses. And when their hearts grew distant from me, even though blessings lay before them, they were never satisfied. Likewise, if you only focus on what you want to receive without setting your eyes on me, no matter how great the blessings are, they will eventually fade away in your heart. Waiting is the time I use to teach you how to shift your focus from the blessings to the one who gives them. I want you to understand that whether the blessings come or not, you can still live in peace and joy because I am with you. When your focus is on me, you will see that blessings are no longer something you chase after, but rather flow naturally from an intimate relationship with me. It is this relationship with me that will be your solid foundation, keeping you unshaken when storms arise, for blessings may change, but I am eternal and unchanging. My child, I know your heart longs for an answer, but I also know that what you truly need is a heart that is firmly attached to me. There are times when I make you wait so that you will seek me more and learn to love my presence more than the gifts in my hands. This is not deprivation, but training. I want you to realize that the most precious thing you have is not the fulfillment of your requests, but that you can call me Father, and I call you my child. My child, waiting is also an opportunity for me to purify your motives. There are times when you come to me only because you desire something, but when you wait and see nothing happening, you begin to ask, why do I really want this? Do I want it to honor God or just to satisfy myself? Through the fort of waiting, I am refining your heart so that you come to me with love and submission, not just with selfish demands. And when your motives are purified, your prayers will become a pleasing fragrance to me, and the blessings you receive will no longer push you away from me, but will draw you closer to me. My beloved child, I want you to remember that you are not the only one who has walked the journey of waiting. Throughout history, countless people have been called by me and promised blessings, yet they too endured long years of challenging waiting before those promises came to pass. These stories are still recorded in the Bible, not merely to adorn the pages, but to remind you that waiting is never in vain. It is the foundation, the fertile ground, where faith takes root and grows, so that when blessings come, they do not sweep you away, but help you stand firm in my purpose. Look at Abraham, the one called the father of faith. When I promised him descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, he was old and his wife was no longer able to bear children. Imagine year after year, Abraham and Sarah waited, hoping, praying, yet Sarah's womb remained empty. 25 years is a long time for a human being. How many times might they have thought that the promise was nothing more than a distant dream? At times in their weakness, they tried to fulfill the promise on their own by having Ishmael through Hagar. But my child, I never forgot my promise. I allowed them to wait until all hope in the flesh seemed lost, so that when Isaac was born, everyone would know it was not the work of man, but a miracle from me. That waiting made Abraham's faith stronger, so much so that when I tested him to offer Isaac as a sacrifice, he still believed that I had the power to raise his son from the dead. The waiting transformed Abraham from an ordinary man into an eternal example of faith. Remember Joseph, the young man, to whom I gave glorious dreams. But immediately after receiving the vision, his life took a turn that seemed to go in the complete opposite direction. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, he was taken to Egypt, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. 13 years of living in slavery and confinement during that time, Joseph must have cried out, "Lord, where are those dreams? Why show me a future of glory only to let me suffer injustice? But my child, it was during those dark years of waiting that I shaped Joseph into a man of integrity, loyalty, humility, and a heart of forgiveness. And at the appointed time I brought him out of prison, making him a ruler who saved his entire people from famine." Without that long period of waiting, Joseph would not have matured enough to carry such a heavy responsibility. What the enemy intended to destroy him with, I turned into preparation that led him to a place of glory. And then there is David, the unknown shepherd boy whom I chose and anointed as king while he was still a mere youth. But immediately after that, instead of sitting on the throne, he had to endure many years of fleeing in caves, constantly threatened by King Saul. On several occasions, David had the chance to kill Saul and quickly seize the throne, but he chose to wait to believe that I, the one who had anointed him, would also be the one to elevate him at the appointed time. In the waiting, he learned humility, learned to respect authority, and learned to place his trust in me rather than relying on his own strength. That is why when David became king, he was not just a warrior, but also a man after my own heart, a king who knew to depend on me in every battle. The waiting did not diminish the promise, but rather shaped him into the one capable of carrying that promise. My beloved child, I recount these stories so that you may know that the waiting in your life carries the same sacred meaning. I am not slow in keeping my promises, but I know well that if blessings come too soon, they can become a burden that overwhelms you. If you step through the door before you are ready, it may destroy you rather than lift you up. I do not make you wait to cause you suffering, but to allow you to grow, to learn, to trust, and to build a firm foundation. When the blessings arrive, you will not be proud thinking you have achieved them by your own strength, but you will humbly acknowledge that they are solely by my grace. Child, remember this. Abraham had to wait, Joseph had to wait, David had to wait, and all of them received the promise at the right time, so your waiting is not in vain. Do not let the enemy sow lies in your heart saying that I have forgotten you. I have never forgotten you, and I will never forget you. Just as a mother cannot forget the child she carries, so too I will never forget you. Your name is engraved on the palms of my hands. Every tear you shed is remembered by me. And at the appointed time you will see the promise fulfilled, not delayed, not lacking, not altered, but completely whole. So, my dear child, be steadfast in waiting. Take Abraham, Joseph, and David as examples so that you may know you are walking the path that I have used to shape the chosen ones. And when the time of fulfillment comes, you will realize that it is the waiting itself that has made the blessings sweeter, more precious, and enduring forever. My beloved child, there will be times when you look around and feel stuck, as if all doors are closed and every effort is in vain. You will look up to the sky and sigh, saying, "Lord, why do you delay? Why do you not immediately grant what I ask?" I know the struggles in your heart, but today I want you to understand that what you see as delay is in truth my divine arrangement. I never let a single moment in your life go to waste. Everything is contributing to the grand picture that I am painting for you. My child, I am preparing the environment around you even when you do not see it. A seed sown into the ground will experience long days of darkness, silence with no sign of life. But in that darkness, the soil nurtures, the moisture seeps in, and the roots take hold so that one day the sprout will break through the surface and rise up strong. Likewise, when you feel as though you are being buried, I am preparing good soil around you. I am arranging opportunities, relationships, and circumstances so that when you step forward, everything will be ready for your breakthrough. If I let you out too soon, you will wither before you can bear fruit. But when you wait patiently, you will see that the moment I have set is the perfect time. Not only am I preparing the environment, but I am also preparing the people around you. You cannot complete the great mission I have planned for you alone. I have already destined those who will walk alongside you, those who will support, encourage, and compliment you. But my dear, they too need time to be molded to be ready to step into your life at the right moment. Therefore, sometimes the delay is not only about you, but also about the people I am preparing somewhere else. When they are ready, I will bring them to you, and you will see that they are the perfect pieces in the plan I have for you. If you rush to seek help from those whom I have not yet prepared, you will be disappointed. But when you allow me to arrange everything, you will be amazed at how the right people appear at the right time, in the right place, and in the right way. Furthermore, I am also preparing your heart and spirit. This is the most important part. You may think that you are ready, but in reality, many times you are not yet mature enough to bear the blessings. A great blessing, if it arrives before you are fully mature, can become a burden that causes you to stumble. However, in this waiting, I am transforming you. I am teaching you patience, strengthening your perseverance, shaping your character, and teaching you to trust in me more than in your own strength. Each day, you are learning to surrender more, love more, and be humbled more. These are all part of the internal preparation. Remember, I am not only concerned with giving you blessings, but I am also concerned with ensuring that those blessings can endure in your life. To achieve that, you need a solid foundation in faith and character. My child, imagine a builder. Before constructing a high-rise building, the builder spends many months digging deep foundations. From the outside, it may seem dull and even pointless with nothing happening. Yet it is the invisible work beneath the ground that determines the building's stability. In the same way, I am building your life. While you may feel delayed, I am digging deep into the foundation of your faith and character. When the time comes, you will stand firm like a fortress unshaken by storms, because your foundation has been built in me. My beloved, be at peace. The delay is not a sign of forgetting. I am working a plan greater than you think. I am arranging the environment to be favorable, placing people in the right positions, and strengthening your spirit. When everything aligns, I will cause things to unfold quickly and powerfully to the point that you will be amazed. And when you look back, you will understand that had everything happened earlier, you would not have had the strength, the wisdom, or the companions needed to sustain the blessings. My beloved child, I know that at times, my silence weighs heavily on your heart. You have cried out with tears, you have wept in the dark of the night, and when no answer came, you thought I had turned my face away. But dear one, I want you to understand something. My silence is not a sign of abandonment. On the contrary, it is the time when I am working silently, refining your faith and shaping you into a stronger, more steadfast person, just like gold being tested in fire, so that it may become pure and radiant. Imagine the process of refining gold. Raw gold, when first mined, is full of impurities and has little value. The craftsman must place it into the fire, heating it to high temperatures until all the dross is removed. This process is not comfortable. It is hot, fierce, and it may seem as if it is destroying the gold. But in reality, it is this very heating that makes the gold precious, shining, and worth far more. Likewise, my child, if your faith is not tested, it will remain weak, easily shaken when the storms come. But when I allow you to pass through silence, through long days with no answer, it is then that your faith is refined, strengthened, and becomes an unshakable power that nothing can destroy. Remember, the Bible says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." James 1:2-4. What does this mean? It means that in the very silence that you find harsh, I am doing a deep work in you, building a mature, unshakable faith, a soul that is patient and knows how to wait, and a heart that learns to trust me more than anything else. My beloved, sometimes you want an answer immediately, but think about this. If every time you asked I answered right away, would you learn to trust me, or would you simply turn to me as a tool to fulfill your desires? It is through silence that you learn to love me for who I am, not just for what I give. It is through waiting in silence that you learn to cling to me, even when there is no sign that the answer is coming soon. and that is true faith. Faith that is not based on what is seen, but on the certainty that I remain faithful even when you have not yet seen the fulfillment. I want you to understand that silence is also a way through which I teach. When I do not speak, when I do not respond immediately, that is the moment I am teaching you to listen with your spiritual ears, not just with your physical ears. You begin to learn to recognize me through the peace in your heart, through closed doors, through events that happen that you may not immediately understand. You learn to recognize me through quiet guidance, through the whispers in your soul. If I always spoke clearly and immediately, you would never learn to distinguish my voice amidst the noisy echoes of the world. My child, think of Job. He lost everything, his wealth, his children, his health, and during those painful days I seemed silent. His friends criticized him, his wife urged him to curse me, and even he cried out with questions, why God? But it was in that silence that Job's faith was tested and refined. And when he finally chose to trust, he experienced a restoration far beyond what he had lost. Job said, I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. Job 4:2-5. My silence led Job to know me more deeply, not just through theory, but through living experience. In the same way, my child, in the silence, you will encounter me in a new way. You will learn that I am not only the giver, but the one who is always with you. You will learn that true faith is not about having all the answers, but about continuing to walk even when there are no answers. You will learn that my silence is an invitation to draw closer, to seek me more deeply, and to place your full trust in me. Do not be afraid when I am silent. Do not think that I have abandoned you. Imagine a teacher during an exam. The teacher remains silent, does not offer help, but that does not mean the teacher is not present in the room. The silence is necessary for the student to show maturity and prove what has been learned. I am the same. I am with you in every test of faith, and my silence is an opportunity for you to demonstrate that your heart is truly committed to me. My beloved, when you feel my silence, remember that I am refining you like gold in the fire. Be strong, for one day you will emerge from the furnace of testing shining stronger and more precious than ever before. And when you look back, you will say, Lord, thank you for that silence. It did not destroy me, but it transformed me into someone new, a person who is mature in faith, steadfast in hope, and rich in your love. My beloved child, I am the one who holds authority over every detail of your life. There is not a single step you take that falls outside of my divine providence. You may think that you are lost, straying off course, or falling behind, but in truth I am guiding each step you take, leading you to the right place at the right time and for the right purpose that I have planned for you. Everything that happens in your life, even what you might consider as coincidence, is part of my wise plan. Remember the words from Psalm 37:2-3. The Lord establishes the steps of the one he delights in. What does this mean? It means that each of your steps when you submit to me is established and directed by me. Even when you feel like you're taking a detour, in reality, I am keeping you from the deep pits ahead. Even when you feel delayed, I am adjusting the pace so that you won't arrive too early or too late. My child, I care not only about your destination, but also about your journey, because it is in the journey that I transform you, teach you, and strengthen your faith. You may think that the path you are on is complicated. There are days when you feel like you're going in the right direction, only for everything to suddenly change and you don't understand why. Let me liken it to a father leading his child through a forest. The child only sees thick trees, winding paths, and at times wants to break free to choose their own way. But the father sees the entire road, knows which way leads to safety and which to the abyss. The father pulls the child to the left when it wants to go straight, stops when it wants to run, and turns around when it thinks it's going the wrong way. Likewise, I, your heavenly Father, know every path. All you need to do is hold my hand tightly, and I will take you to the place I have promised. My child, there are times when you have blamed me for missed opportunities. You have said, Lord, why did you allow me to miss that door? Why didn't you let me walk through it? But know this, not every door that opens is one I want you to walk through. There are doors that may appear good, but within them lie traps. I have closed them to protect you from what is not meant for you. There are also opportunities that seem like treasures, but if you grasp them, they will become chains that imprison your soul. Therefore, when I close a door, it is not a rejection, but a guidance. I do not close doors to disappoint you, but to keep you for what is better, more fitting, and greater. My dear child, I adjust the rhythm of your life. When you wish to rush ahead, I may slow you down, for I know that if you go too quickly, you will exhaust yourself and lack the strength to reach the end. When you desire to stop out of fear, I may urge you forward, for I know that ahead of you is a breakthrough waiting to happen. I am the one who knows when to stop, when to go, when to turn, and when to continue. If you rely solely on your own understanding, you will easily lose your way. But if you trust your path to me, you will see how I arrange everything in a marvelous way. As Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." Beloved child, because I adjust each step, you can have peace, even when everything seems contrary to your expectations. Joseph did not understand why his dream of a throne led him to a prison. But in truth, I guided each step to bring him to Egypt, where he would become an instrument of salvation for millions. Moses may have despaired after 40 years in the wilderness, but it was during that time that I prepared him to become the leader who would free a nation. David may have been confused when he was pursued by Saul, but it was in those caves that he learned to rely on me so that one day he would become a king after my heart. Similarly, my child, the detours you are taking today are actually leading you to the destination I have set. You see delay, but I see design. You see a dead end, but I see a new road. You see failure, but I see preparation. Never think that you have stepped outside of my plan. As long as you still call on my name, as long as you still hold my hand, I will turn everything to your good and lead you to the exact place at the perfect time. Rest assured, I have never forgotten a single step of yours. Even when you wander, I know how to bring you back. Even when you fall, I am ready to lift you up. Even when you take a different path, I can still use that very path to bring you back into my will. My providence is so vast that no mistake of yours can destroy it. And my faithfulness is so enduring that no delay can diminish it. Therefore, beloved child, walk with the confidence that I am adjusting, aligning, and arranging everything. Do not fear delays. Do not be afraid of change. Every step you take in surrender is remembered and guided by me. And one day when you look back, you will see how my hand has silently adjusted every move, leading you to the right place at the right time to receive the great blessings I have prepared for you before the foundation of the world. My beloved child, I want you to remember an eternal truth. No plan of the enemy can ever surpass. My plan and no scheme against you will succeed when you are in my embrace. Whatever the enemy intends to use to destroy you, I can turn into an opportunity to lift you up. Every dark plot against you I can transform into a foundation for blessings to blossom. The evil you think will bring you down, I will use it as a testimony to my power. Look back at the story of Joseph. It is the clearest evidence of this truth. When his brothers, filled with jealousy, threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery, they thought they had removed him from their lives, cutting off the dream I had given him. But in reality, that very act of wickedness was the first step in Joseph's journey to Egypt, where I had destined him to become the vizier. When Potiphar's wife falsely accused him, causing him to be thrown into prison in the darkness, the enemy thought they had ended his path. But the prison was the very door that led him to meet the man who would introduce him to Pharaoh. And in the end, when he stood before those who had wronged him, Joseph spoke an unforgettable word. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 5:0-20. My child, those words were not only Joseph's, but they are also the story I am writing in your life. I know, my child, that the enemy has attacked you many times. It sows fear, doubt, and despair into your heart. It makes you believe that everything is working against you, that you will never escape the darkness. But you must remember that I am the sovereign Lord. The enemy may plot, but it does not have the final say. I am the one who determines the outcome. I have spoken, and no one can change it. What it plans to use to knock you down, I will use to lift you up. What it intends to weaken you, I will turn into an opportunity for you to grow stronger. What it seeks to steal your faith, I will use to deepen and strengthen your trust in me. Think of David. Saul sought to harm him many times, throwing spears, hunting him down, cornering him. From the outside, you might think the enemy was winning, that David had no chance of survival. But those years of fleeing and hiding in caves were the very places where I trained him to become the king after my own heart. It was in the shadow of threat that he learned to praise me, to depend on me. The Psalms, which millions of people read and find comfort in today, were written during that time of suffering. If not for Saul's pursuit, the world might never have heard the beautiful words, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 2:3-1. Do you see what the enemy meant for destruction? I turned into an eternal legacy of blessings. My beloved child, this is true in your life as well. There may be times when you are betrayed, hurt, or pushed into unfair circumstances. You may lose something precious, lose a relationship, or lose an opportunity that seemed important. You will hurt, you will cry, and you might think that everything has collapsed. But I want you to know that I have never abandoned you in those moments. I am using that very pain as the foundation for you to step into a new season. The pain you think is the end, I am turning into the beginning of a new, more glorious chapter. Look at the cross. It seemed like the greatest victory of the enemy. When my only son was nailed to it, his blood poured out, and the disciples fled in confusion. The world thought that darkness had triumphed. But 3 days later, resurrection came. What the enemy thought was a devastating blow, I turned into the greatest victory in human history. Through the death of Christ, eternal life was open to all nations. So, my child, if I can turn the cross into the source of salvation for the world, can I not turn your challenges into opportunities for glory and blessing? My child, do not fear the enemy anymore. It may threaten, it may plot, but every plan it has will be scattered in my hands. Just as weapons designed to harm you will not succeed. Isaiah 5:4-1-7. I turn evil into good. I turn darkness into light. I turn failure into a new beginning, and I turn mourning into a joyful song. And I will continue to do this in your life. All you need to do is trust. Do not focus on the schemes of man, but look to the power of the one who promised he would never leave you. My beloved, when you look back later, you will realize that those things you thought were the most painful actually became the launch pad that propelled you into the highest place of glory. And you will say, as Joseph once did, "What they intended for harm, God intended for good, to bring about the saving of many lives." That too will be your testimony, that you went through it. You were hurt, you were tested, but in the end, you stood firm, because there is a God who turned every evil into good for you. My beloved, I want you to understand that every trial you face is not sent to destroy you, but to refine you. Each hardship, each tear, each pain is becoming a refining furnace where I strengthen your faith and character. The enemy desires to see you fall, but I use the very adversity to build you up. Just as a seed only sprouts when buried in the dark earth, just as steel only becomes strong when forged in the red-hot fire, so too you in the pressure and the trials are being shaped to become the person I want you to be. My child, I can clearly see the moments when you believed that the challenges would overwhelm you. You have trembled in fear, thinking you could bear no more. But have you noticed that after every such moment you emerged stronger? You have learned to pray more deeply, to cling to me, more tightly, to live more humbly, and to love more abundantly. That is the purpose of challenges, not to destroy, but to refine. Without stormy days, the tree would never root itself deeply. Without dark nights, you would never learn to find the light. Look at Job. He lost everything. Yet it was in that very trial that he was able to say, "I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you." Job 4:2-5. The trials did not cause Job to lose his faith. They made his faith come alive and become personal. That is also what I want to do in your life. I do not want you to only hear about me from others. I want you to experience me directly through adversity. When everything else disappears, you will realize that I am the only inheritance that can never be lost. Challenges are also an opportunity for your character to be shaped. You will learn patience when things come slowly. You will learn humility when you realize you cannot control your life. You will learn resilience when you stand firm in the midst of storms. You will learn compassion when you empathize with those who suffer as you do. All these qualities cannot be obtained merely through theory, but must be forged through experience. Just as a diamond shines only when it is polished, your soul will shine when it is refined through trials. My child, I know you have often longed for an easier path, one without pain or loss. But remember this: I do not call you to walk a smooth road, but to walk a path that leads to maturity. And maturity does not come from comfort, it comes from endurance and rising above. Trials are like tests for your faith. If faith is not tested, it will be weak and easily shaken. But once it has gone through the storm and remains standing, that faith becomes a living testimony of my power. Think of the apostles. Peter was once so weak that he denied me 3 times. But after going through trials and being restored, he became so strong that he could preach and see 3,000 people repent in a single day. Paul endured countless hardships, beatings, imprisonment, shipwrecks, but it was those very trials that made him the strongest witness to my grace. No one could shake his faith, for he had learned that when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 1:2-1-0. My beloved child, in your very life I am also carrying out a similar work. The challenges you face today are not in vain. They are deeply ingraining in you lessons that only adversity can teach. They are transforming you from a trembling soul into a warrior of faith. They are turning you from a beggar into a witness. When others look at you, they will not only see someone who has suffered, but they will see someone who stands firm by my grace. They will see in your eyes the light of faith, in your words the encouragement, and in your life a testament to my faithfulness. My child, I know you desire to avoid trials, but I promise you that no trial is without purpose. I will not allow you to be overwhelmed. Each challenge is measured by me, and each burden has its limit. And after each trial you overcome, you will step into a new level of faith. Challenges do not only change your circumstances, they change you. They shape you into the person I have intended for you, to be strong, steadfast, and a reflection of my glory. Therefore, my child, do not fear when faced with adversity. Consider it an opportunity for refinement. Believe that each tear you shed waters the seed of faith. Remember that trials do not destroy you, but make you as precious as refined gold. And one day, when you look back, you will see that it was in the furnace of testing that you were transformed, not as the weak person you were yesterday, but as a living testimony to my unchanging power and love. My beloved, I know that on your journey there have been times when you stumbled, moments when you looked back and sighed in regret over your failures. You ask yourself, why couldn't I do it? Why does everything I try seem to fall apart? You see failure as an end, a door closing forever, and your heart is weighed down with shame, regret, and fear that you will never have another chance. But my child, I tell you, this failure is not the end. It is merely a stepping stone on the path that leads you to a greater breakthrough. Remember, a seed, if it does not fall to the ground and die, will forever remain a small seed. But when it decays in the soil, new life arises, a young plant grows, and it bears fruit. Similarly, sometimes I allow certain things in your life to die, plans, projects, and even dreams, not to destroy you, but to make way for something better, greater, and more lasting. Failure is not the end, it is the sowing. And you will see from the ashes I can bring forth new life more vibrant than ever before. My child, look at Moses. When he tried to save the people by his own strength, he failed and even had to flee into the wilderness. Many would think that was the end, that Moses' life had concluded in failure. But in reality, it was those 40 years in the desert, those 40 years that seemed forgotten, that prepared him to become the deliverer of the people in the way I intended. Without that initial failure, Moses would never have learned the humility, patience, and wisdom necessary for the great mission ahead. The failure became the stepping stone for him to step into his true calling. Remember Peter, who once fervently swore he would never deny me, yet ended up denying me 3 times on the night I was arrested. It was a bitter failure, one that made him weep in anguish. But my child, I did not abandon him in that failure. After the resurrection, I came to restore Peter, giving him the responsibility to shepherd my sheep. The one who had fallen became the firm foundation for the early church. Without that failure, he would never have known the fullness of grace, would never have learned the humility to serve others with a compassionate heart. Failure did not end his calling. It opened a new chapter where my power was made manifest more clearly. Look back at your own life, my child. There are things you have tried that didn't succeed, plans you held on to that crumbled, dreams you pursued that were left unfinished. You may have thought that all was in vain. But my child, I have seen in those failures that you learned patience, you learned to let go of pride, you learned to look to me instead of relying on yourself. Without those failures, you would never have understood the necessity of grace. It was through stumbling that you learned how to rise. It was through failure that you learned to cling to me more. And it was through loss that you learned to appreciate the blessings I give. My child, failure does not define you, it only shapes you. You are not the sum of your failures, you are the child of the Almighty. I do not see you through the lens of mistakes, but through the complete plan I have set for you. I see you not in your moments of defeat, but in the glorious future I have designed for you. And I promise you I will turn every failure into a stepping stone, bringing you closer to breakthrough. My dear child, trust this, every failure contains a lesson. If you look to me, you will see that failure does not make you smaller, but rather it makes you grow. It does not weaken you, but strengthens you. It does not close doors, but opens new paths aligned with my will. And as you faithfully walk, I will allow you to experience a breakthrough beyond your imagination. My beloved, I want you to remember the cross once again. In the eyes of the world, it was the greatest failure. The Savior was nailed, mocked, and killed. But in my eternal plan, it was not a failure, but the greatest victory. Through that failure, salvation was given to all nations. If I can turn the cross into a victory, I can also turn every failure in your life into a stepping stone for glorious breakthroughs. Therefore, my child, do not be discouraged when you fail. Do not believe the lie that it is all over. See failure as a lesson, a foundation, a stepping stone for you to go further. Let me take your hand, lift you up, wipe your tears, and guide you to continue your journey. You will see that behind every fall there is a new opportunity. Behind every closed door there is another one that is wider, brighter, and more secure. And behind every failure there is always a breakthrough that I have prepared for you at the right time, in the right way, and far beyond what you have hoped for. My beloved, I want you to know that there is no door in this world that I do not have the authority to open or close. What your eyes see as a thick wall, what your heart thinks is permanently shut, I can make it open in the moment I will. You have stood weary before closed doors, knocked endlessly without a response, prayed in vain without seeing, and thought that all hope had ended. But my child, remember my words. What I open no one can shut, and what I shut no one can open. Revelation 3:7. The doors I open will always lead to life, restoration, and blessings, and no power can stop it. You may be in a season where all the doors before you seem sealed. You knock at doors in your work, family, relationships, health, but find no way out. You feel like you're trapped in a long hallway of waiting, with doors standing still, unmoving. But my child, be steadfast, just one word from me, and those doors will open, and you will step into what you never imagined. Do not let the silence of waiting cause you to forget that I am the one with the keys to every door. Please remember the people of Israel when they stood before the Red Sea. Before them lay the deep water, behind them was the fierce army pursuing them. There was no way to retreat, no way to move forward. But it was at that moment that I instructed Moses to raise his staff, and the sea parted. A path through the sea was opened, a way that no one could have imagined, a way that no one but I could have made. That is what I can do for you. Even when you feel there is no way out, I can still open a new door, a miraculous path beyond your imagination. My beloved, I open the door not just to bring you out, but to bring you closer to the purpose I have set for you. Those doors that seem to be closed may appear as missed opportunities, crushed dreams, or broken relationships. You may think they will never be restored. But I am the one who brings the dead to life, who makes the withered bloom again. The door you thought was shut, I can open in a completely new way, better and more lasting. You have wept over your losses, but wait on me, for I can turn mourning into joy, despair into hope, and endings into new beginnings. Child, when the time comes, you will see things that were once delayed suddenly move forward. Prayers that seemed forgotten will be fulfilled. Dreams that appeared dead will come to life. Relationships thought to be broken will be healed. And opportunities that seemed to have passed by will return in a new form, whole and richer than before. The door I open is not a mere revival, but a complete renewal where you enter with a stronger, wiser, and more mature heart. Remember, I am the one who holds time. You cannot force the door to open before its time, and no one can stop it when the moment I have set arrives. I am never late. At the very moment I have determined, the door will open. And when it does, you will see everything fall into place perfectly, the environment, the people, and your heart all prepared and ready. When I open the door, you will not need to struggle nor knock in despair. You will simply walk through in peace, for I have gone ahead of you, arranging all things. My child, do not despair before closed doors. See them as a sign that I am preparing another door, one bigger, brighter. Trust that the closing of today is only the preparation for the opening of tomorrow. Keep your heart in hope, for you will witness my power revealed. And when you step through the door I open, you will realize that every tear you've waded through was worth it. Every delay had its reason, and every closed door was just a part of my plan to bring you to greater blessings. My beloved child, I decree healing for you from the very source of eternal life. I know every wound on your body, every pain that others cannot see, every empty space in your soul that you try to hide behind your weary smile. I understand the cracks in your heart, the lingering wounds that seem to have healed, but still bleed whenever you remember them. Right now, my hand is touching you, resting on your body, mind, and soul, so that healing may begin to flow like a never-ending stream. You no longer need to bear the burden of sickness and suffering as your fate. I, who created you, who knows every cell in your body, am the one with the power to restore, renew, and heal all that is broken. Remember that I am Jehovah Rapha, the Lord who heals you. By the stripes that my only Son bore on the cross, you have been granted the right to healing, Isaiah 5:3-5. This is not just a distant promise, but a reality that you can receive today. I do not want you to live in fear or let sickness rule over you. Your body is not the dwelling place of destruction, it is the temple of my Holy Spirit. Therefore, sickness has no right to bind you, pain has no right to imprison you, and suffering has no right to control you. When I speak the word of healing, all of heaven bears witness, and no power can stand against it. I am reviving what has withered, restoring what has been worn out, and bringing new strength to every part of your being. My child, do not let the past define you. The painful memories, the failures, the shame, or even the hurts caused by others, none of these have the power to determine your true worth. You are not bound by what has passed, for I am making all things new. I am rewriting the story of your life, not with the ink of pain, but with the blood and everlasting love of mine. You will no longer see yourself through the lens of wounds, but you will see yourself covered in the robe of righteousness and grace. I restore not only your body, but also your broken heart. I wipe away your tears, replacing sorrow with joy and turning heaviness into a song of praise. Beloved child, I want you to believe that healing does not stop at the physical, but flows deeply into your soul. I heal the invisible wounds where you have felt rejected, abandoned, and looked down upon. I am restoring the confidence you lost, rebuilding the trust that the enemy broke, and giving you a heart full of hope. I am bringing you out of the darkness of suffering into the brilliant light of a new life. You will no longer be a victim of harm, but a witness to the power of my healing. Open your heart to receive this healing. Do not hold on to the pain as part of yourself, for it no longer belongs to you. Give it to me so I can transform what was once a burden into evidence of my love and power. Let me replace your cries of sorrow with songs of thanksgiving, turning your tears into jewels that reflect my glory. My healing is not just for today, but will follow you all the days of your life, enabling you to live as a free, strong, and vibrant person. You are the proof that I am the living God. The world may say there is no hope, but I say you shall live, and live abundantly. John 10:10. I renew your strength like the eagles, so you can soar high without tiring or growing weary. Isaiah 40:31. My healing is complete from the physical to the spiritual, from the present to the future. Trust, receive, and walk in the freedom I give, for I am the God who heals, and I will never abandon the work I began in you. Beloved child, I want you to understand that when my time comes, blessings will not trickle in like rare drops of dew on a barren desert. They will come in abundance, pouring down with power like a mighty waterfall from the heavens. The years of waiting, the long days that seemed hopeless, will become the foundation upon which you prepare to receive the abundance I am about to pour out. You have asked for a little, but I will give much more. You have hoped for something small, but I will do far beyond that, for my grace is not limited by the finite imagination you have. Remember my word in Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. What does this mean, my child? It means that what you think is great, I can make even greater. What you have asked for, which seems beyond your reach, I can surpass. I am not a God who gives sparingly drop by drop, but a generous Father who gives abundantly, overflowing to the point where you cannot contain it all. You have patiently waited, remained faithful in the small days, and now you are preparing to witness the breakthrough. When I open, the heavens' blessings will pour out upon you, your family, your work, and your spirit. You will be amazed as it does not come quietly, but like a heavy rain soaking the dry fields. The places that once cracked due to lack of water will become lush and full of life. The dreams that once seemed dead will rise again strong, and you will stand in the abundance that I have promised. My child, do not be surprised if blessings come unexpectedly. Do not be astonished when a prayer you had forgotten long ago is suddenly brought to life in reality. Do not be amazed if one door opens leading to many others. For when I act, I do not simply respond to one thing. I orchestrate a series of miraculous events, one after another. You will move from one blessing to another, from one victory to the next, to witness that my grace never runs dry. Look at the people of Israel, my child, when they were brought out of Egypt. They were not only delivered from slavery, but also carried with them treasures of gold, silver, and abundant wealth. They were not only freed, but also led into the promised land, a land where vineyards were ready, wells were prepared, and cities were already built. This is the image of overflowing blessings. When I work, I do not do it halfway. I complete it fully. When I give in abundance. When I make a promise, I fulfill it far beyond what you ever dreamed. Beloved, I know you have once thought small, asking for little, hoping for just enough to get by, praying for peace for the day. But I am not the God who gives just enough to survive. I am the God who gives blessings in abundance, so that you may become a source of blessing to others. What I do for you will be so great that not only will you benefit, but many around you will also be blessed. My blessings will overflow, reaching your family, your community, and even future generations. Do not think that my blessings are only material wealth. The blessings I give go far beyond that. They are the peace that remains unshaken in the midst of storms, the joy that no one can steal away, the strength to stand firm when everything around you falters, the love that heals even the deepest wounds. And when you receive these, your life will reflect my glory, causing others to look and know that only I could accomplish such things. My child, prepare your heart. When blessings come, they will come suddenly and powerfully, not giving you time to adjust to your own ways. You must be ready to receive, to hold firm, and to share. Do not fear that you are unworthy, for blessings are not based on your merit, but on my grace. Do not think it is too great, for I am the one who holds it in my hands and protects you. Your part is simply to trust, to open your heart, and to step into what I have given. So, my child, do not think that I will give in small drops. Expect a mighty outpouring. Do not believe that I only respond to small things. Believe that I will do far more than what you ask. And when it comes, you will stand in awe, praising and saying, "The Lord has done great things for me." Psalm 1:2-6-3. And in that moment you will know that all the waiting, all the tears, all the patient days have been worth it, because blessings have come not only to change your circumstances, but to transform your life into a living testimony of my love and power. My beloved child, I do not merely change your life for your own benefit, but I also desire to make you a source of blessing to many others. The new season you are entering is not only a transformation for you, but an opportunity for my grace and love to flow through you to your family, community, and even to the generations that will follow. I never perform a work for the sake of one person alone. When I touch an individual, that blessing will spread and affect many other souls. Beloved, you are the channel through which my blessings will flow. Just like a river that does not keep its water for itself, but flows to nourish the land, sustain trees, and provide life to all creatures, you too are called to let the river of life flow through you. I do not place blessings in your life for them to stop with you, but for them to spread out, bringing healing, encouragement, and transformation to those around you. When you receive peace, you will have the ability to bring peace to those who are anxious. When you experience restoration, you will be able to encourage those who are broken. When you receive joy, you will spread that joy to warm the hearts of those who are cold. My child, look back at the characters in the Bible. Abraham did not only receive the promise for himself, but through him all nations of the earth were blessed. Joseph was not only rescued from prison, but that very rescue brought life to an entire nation during a time of famine. Esther was not only saved from the plot to destroy her, but she became the instrument of salvation for the entire Jewish people. David was not only raised to the throne, but he became a king whose influence affected an entire nation, leaving behind an eternal spiritual legacy. Do you see, blessings have never stopped at one person, but always expanded to influence many others? My beloved, I have the same plan for you. I want to transform you not just for your private joy, but to make you a shining light that guides those who are lost. When you stand firm in faith amid trials, others will see and be encouraged. When you enter a season of abundance, they will recognize that the blessing comes from me, and they too will long to seek me. When you live in love, forgiveness, and kindness, others will taste the flavor of heaven through you. You will become a living testimony that God is real, that He is faithful, and that He still works today. My child, the blessings I bestow upon you are not limited to just one generation. They will ripple through to your children, grandchildren, and many generations to come. When you choose to walk in obedience, you are sowing a sacred legacy for your descendants. You are laying a firm foundation so that future generations can stand strong. The prayers you offer today may become a blessing for your children and grandchildren in the days ahead. Your faithfulness today may open doors for the generations to follow. And the trust you hold firm in today may become a priceless legacy worth more than any material wealth you leave behind. My beloved, I call you not to keep these blessings to yourself. Let my love flow through you. Use what you have received to support the weak, to care for the thirsty, to guide those who are lost. This is the way your new season will be made complete, not by merely receiving, but by becoming a giver. For as I have said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Acts 2:0-5. Beloved, look ahead. The new season will not only change your external circumstances, but it will also transform you from within. It will make you a witness, an instrument, a river of blessings. When others look at your life, they will see my marks upon you, and they themselves will be drawn closer to me. And so the blessings will no longer be just your own story, but a story that spreads, touching many hearts and leaving an eternal imprint on the flow of history. Therefore, my child, prepare not only to receive, but also to give. Open your heart so that the new season does not just transform you, but makes you a source of blessing for your family, your community, and future generations. And when you live this way, you will see that true blessing lies not in how much you hold on to, but in how much you allow my grace to flow through you to others. My beloved, I want you to understand something profound. Your life, with all its ups and downs, tears and smiles, successes and failures, will become a powerful testimony of my faithfulness. You do not need to stand on a podium nor speak with eloquence like great orators. All you need is to live to walk in faith and to maintain your relationship with me. Then your very breath, your eyes, and each step you take will be enough to serve as a testimony that resonates louder than any sermon. My child, remember that the most powerful testimony does not come from the mouth, but from a life that has been transformed. When people see you, someone who once fell now standing firm, who was once in despair now filled with hope, who suffered but now lives in joy and peace, they will be unable to deny that there is a God working in your life. They may argue with your words, but they cannot deny the living proof, which is your life itself. As Paul wrote, "You yourselves are our letter, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God." 2 Corinthians 3:3. You are a living letter, and everyone around you is reading every page of your life. My child, perhaps you have thought that you are too small or lack the talents to be a witness for me. But I want you to understand that no one is too small to be used by me. You do not need to be a prominent figure in the world. You only need to be faithful. Remember the Samaritan woman by the well. She was not a preacher or a leader, just an ordinary woman with a past full of stains. But after meeting me, she ran back to her village to tell them about the Christ she had just met. And through her testimony, an entire village came to believe in me. John 4:39. Do you see, a life touched by me has the power to transform many more people than any long sermon ever could. My child, think about this. The challenges you go through are not only for you to experience grace, but also for others to see that grace through you. When they witness you persevering through adversity, they will be encouraged to keep their faith. When they see you loving instead of hating, forgiving instead of holding grudges, they will recognize that there is a supernatural power at work within you. And when they see your success, peace, and abundance in this new season of your life, they will know that it all comes from God and not from your own strength. My beloved child, I have chosen you to be a witness. Not just a witness with words, but with your very life. I want those around you to look at you and see me. I want your family to see my faithfulness through the way you live. I want your friends and colleagues to recognize my light in every action, in every decision you make. You may not realize how many people you can influence. Just one word of encouragement, one act of love, one steadfast attitude from you can change someone's life forever. My child, I know that sometimes you wonder, does my life really have any value? I tell you now, your value does not lie in what you own, nor in your status or fame, but in being a reflection of my faithfulness. Every time you share your journey, how I have kept you, how I have pulled you out of darkness, how I have given you strength to stand firm, in that moment, you are planting seeds of faith in the hearts of others. And I will use your testimony to awaken comfort and transform many souls. Do not be ashamed of the scars in your life, my child. They are not signs of failure, but evidence of survival. They do not make you ashamed, but make you a stronger witness. When you share the places where you once stumbled but were lifted up by me, others will find hope that they too can rise. When you share the mistakes you once made but were forgiven by me, others will understand that they too can receive grace. You are a living testament that God is faithful, merciful, and all-powerful. So, my child, walk with the confidence that your life has a great mission. You don't need to seek the spotlight, for your everyday life is enough to preach about me. When you are faithful, when you stand firm in faith, when you live in love, that is the most beautiful sermon, reaching farther than any words. And when others see this, they will know that there is a God who is still alive and acting today. My beloved child, I have allowed you to walk through many paths, not for you to keep them hidden in your heart, but so that one day when you share that journey, it will become a torch to illuminate the way for those who are walking in darkness. Your life is a story, and I am the author writing each chapter. When you courageously share it, that story will become an encouragement, a comfort, and a source of hope for others, those who are longing to hear that there is still a way out, still a future, and still a faithful God who will never forsake humanity. Remember, the world is full of weary, stumbling, and confused souls. They need to hear a real story, not a rigid theory, not a hollow sermon, but a life that has been broken yet rebuilt. One that was once desperate but was lifted up. One that was lost but found its way back. And you are that living testimony. When you open your mouth to recount your journey, how you prayed through your tears, how you waited through the long night, how you once thought there was no hope but still felt my hand lifting you up, at that very moment you breathe life into the Fickleys. Cold, weary hearts, my child, do not fear that your story is too small or insignificant to matter, for what touches the heart of a person is not grandeur but sincerity. A story shared from the heart, an open and unhidden testimony, has more power than any eloquent argument. When you say, I was weak, but the Lord made me strong, I fell, but the Lord lifted me up. I doubted, but the Lord showed me his faithfulness. These simple words will encourage others far more than any empty teachings. Think of the woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. When I healed her, she did not keep the event to herself. Trembling, she told everyone what had happened, and through that the faith of many others was strengthened. Or think of the blind man I healed from birth. He had no complex theories to argue with the Pharisees. He simply said, I was blind, but now I see. John 9:25. And that simple testimony held a power no argument could defeat. You see, what the world needs is not theory, but a living testimony, and your story is exactly that. My dear child, when you share your journey, you not only encourage others, but also remind yourself of my faithfulness. Your testimony nourishes the faith of the community and strengthens your own personal faith. Every time you recount your story, you are deeply engraving in your heart the truth that I have been present, that I have acted, and that I have performed miracles. This truth will protect you from doubt in the future, for if I have worked in the past, I will surely continue to work in the present and the future. My child, there are people who will find their only hope through your story. They may be on the brink of giving up, lost in the darkness, but when they hear that you too were once in that state, yet the Lord delivered you, their hearts will be filled with light. They will say, if the Lord did this for them, surely he can do it for me. And this very realization could save them from the depths. You can never truly know how many lives your story can transform. Beloved, I want you to be like a lighthouse on the shore, not to boast in your own light, but to guide ships lost in the stormy night. A lighthouse does not need to move or shout, it simply needs to shine, and that light is enough to save many lives. Likewise, your story is that light. All you need to do is share it with honesty and humility, and that light will reach those in need, leading them to a safe harbor. So, my child, do not remain silent. Do not let fear or shame stop you from sharing. Every word you speak about your journey is a seed of hope sown in the hearts of others. I will cause that seed to sprout, grow, and bear fruit. And thus your life will not only be transformed for you, but will also become a vessel through which I will transform many others. Remember, my child, your story is a living sermon, a testimony no one can deny. When you recount your journey with me from darkness to light, from failure to victory, from brokenness to restoration, others will find the faith that they too can walk through their own journey. They will be encouraged, lifted up, and drawn closer to me. And this is the purpose I have ordained, not only for you to be saved, but also for many others to encounter eternal grace through you. My beloved child, as you look back on your entire journey, you will clearly see that my hand has never left your life. The years that seemed to be delayed, the long days that appeared hopeless, were actually mere preparations to give you the strength to step into the blessings I have already prepared for you. Every challenge, every tear, every fall, followed by standing up, was never in vain. These moments have laid the foundation for you to understand that faith is not just belief in times of ease, but also steadfastness in the darkness. You have been taught to recognize that I am the faithful one, always present, always acting, and always turning every evil into good for you. From now on, your life will no longer be just your own story. It will become a powerful testimony of my love and grace. My child, the new season you are stepping into will not only bring blessings to you personally, but it will also transform your family, your community, and even future generations. What you receive will not stop with you. It will spread like a river watering the dry lands. Your quiet prayers, your faithful steps will become a precious spiritual inheritance, sowing seeds of hope and faith for your descendants. You will become a lamp placed high, not to show off, but to shine, to guide, and to encourage those who are lost to find the source of life. And when others look at your life, they will see the marks of me, a powerful, merciful, and faithful God, always keeping my promises. So, my child, do not let your heart grow weary, and do not worry about tomorrow. You only need to stand firm in your faith, hold on tightly to my promises, and walk each day in my guidance. Everything you have heard and received, let it become a fire in your heart, burning away fear and lighting up hope. Be assured that your life has meaning, the mission you carry is great, and you are never alone in this journey. I, your God, who began this good work in you, will also complete it until the very end. And when you finish your life on earth, you will leave behind a glorious legacy, an eternal testimony that your God is faithful and unchanging. Now, my child, pray sincerely before me, and you may say the following: Lord, today I come before you with a humble heart. I have carried many burdens, tried to control things beyond my ability, and I am weary. Please forgive me for the times I doubted you, for the moments when worry overshadowed my faith. Now I choose to let go of everything and allow you to take control of my life. Lord, teach me to trust you in everything, even when I cannot see the whole picture, even when I don't understand the way. I believe that your plans are good, and the future you have for me is far beyond what I can ask for. Top of form, bottom of form, Lord, I know that challenges are a part of the journey, but in the midst of dark days and nights I often tremble and feel weak. Please grant me strength so that I do not fall, and grant me patience so that I do not give up. Remind me that no challenge comes to destroy me, but to refine me like gold tested in the fire. Please give me eyes of faith to see you, even when you are silent, and let me stand firm, trusting that you are still at work for my eternal good. Lord, I know you are the healer, the restorer, the one who makes all things new. I lift up to you the deep wounds in my heart, the losses, the brokenness, the memories I want to forget but still haunt me. Please, touch, soothe, and heal. Transform the dry places into lush gardens, turn mourning into songs of joy. Grant me the experience of peace that no one can take away, so that I may also become a source of comfort and healing for others. Lord, I know that only you hold the keys to all doors. I stand before doors that seem tightly shut, opportunities that seem lost, dreams that seem dead. But today I believe that you can open a new path, a miraculous way beyond imagination. Please open the door that will lead me into a new season, a season of abundance, a season of miracles, a season where blessings come in abundance and exceed what I have asked for. And as I step through, please keep my heart humble so I may know that all of this comes from you. Lord, I believe you do not give blessings in small drops, but pour them out abundantly. Please fill my life with your love, grace, and peace, to the point where it cannot remain within me, but must flow out, touching my family, community, and future generations. Teach me to live like a river, not keeping for myself, but flowing out to refresh others. Let my life become a source of blessing so that all who come near may experience your light and love. Lord, I know that you have placed a great mission upon my life, greater than I ever imagined. I ask that you help me not compare my journey to that of others, but rather give me the courage to walk on the path you have set specifically for me. Grant me a spirit of boldness, not fear, but one that is full of power, love, and sound judgment. Let me walk in the authority you have given me so that my life may become a living testimony stronger than any sermon, reflecting your glory to a world that is yearning for hope. Lord, I do not only pray for today, but also for tomorrow, for my descendants, and for the generations to come. May my faith become a legacy, so that when I am gone, the testimony of your faithfulness will continue to echo in my family and community. Let my life be a seed sown into the ground of future generations, growing into strong trees that bear eternal fruit. I want to leave behind not just temporary footprints, but a sacred inheritance that affirms God is faithful, and He always keeps His promises to all generations. I offer this prayer in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can build a strong community of faith together.